Hi students, in the previous video we did a problem on mean by step deviation method. We will do one more numerical based on step deviation method, and I am sure you remember the formula. Mean is equal to a plus 1 by n sigma fi ui into h. That is the formula for finding mean using step deviation method. So you have a problem in front of you, right? And you can note down this problem. Class interval frequency is given to you, and in every problem related to mean, mid value is mandatory. So these columns are mandatory. I call this as mid value. Then you have deviation di, called as xi minus a, where a is the assumed mean. Ui is di by ci. Ci is nothing but class interval or width of the class, and followed by fi ui. Here we calculate sigma fi ui, and here we calculate n. N is also equal to sigma f. Sigma f2 plus 2, 4 plus 12, 16 plus 5, 21 plus 4, 25 is total frequency. Now we have to calculate mid value. How do you calculate mid value? Mid value formula. Mid value is formula is what? Lower limit plus upper limit by 2, right? So this 100 is called lower limit, 150 is called upper limit. 100 plus 150. 250 divided by 2. What is 250 divided by 2? 125. Similarly, 150 plus 200, 350 divided by 2, 175. You can see that you have to add 50-50 each time. 175 plus 50 will be 225. 225 plus 50 will be 275. Plus 50 will be 325. So once mid value is written, I have to assume any one of the value as assumed mean. I will take the center one usually. I have told you can take the first one, you can take the last one. Anything you can say, that is called as assumed mean. The answer is not going to change. But if you take something which is at the middle, there will be less number of calculations. So I will assume this as assumed mean. So as per the formula, this is xi minus a will be 225 minus 225 is 0. 275 minus 225 will be 1. 325 minus 225 will be, it's not 1, it is 50, and here you have 100. Similarly, here you have minus 50 and here you have minus 100. Now what is class interval? Class interval here. Class interval, it is also called as width of the class. And how do you measure the class interval? Difference between LL1 and LL2, two consecutive lower limits or two consecutive upper limits. So that is equal to 50. So when I divide minus 100 by 50, you get minus 2. This is minus 1, 0. 50 by 50 is 1. 100 by 50 is what? 2. Now once you calculate ui, very important, students often confuse, you have to multiply this fi into ui. Fi into ui, and 4 into minus 2 is minus 8. 5 into minus 1 is minus 5. 12 into 0 is 0. 2 into 1 is 2. And 2 into 2 is 4. Now when you deal, first you add the positive quantities, it is 6, and then you add the negative quantities, it is minus 13. 6 minus 13 is equal to minus 7. Now once things are clear, you calculate this total frequency n, and now you write the formula for mean. Mean formula in step deviation method is a plus 1 by n sigma fi ui into h. What is the value of a? You have assumed this as 225. 1 by n means 1 by total frequency. How much is that? 25. Into sigma fi ui. What is the sigma fi ui value you got? Minus 7. Minus 7. Into what is the value of h you have? 50. Right? Formula looks to be complicated, but the calculations are pretty easy. 25 ones are, 25 twos are. So it is 225. Minus into plus minus. 2 sevens are 14. So 5 minus 4 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, and then followed by 211. So the mean using step deviation method for this particular problem is 211. So I am sure you understood this, and you may note it down and pause the video and copy this problem. I am sure you have copied the previous problem and you are working on it, and you are trying to do the problem without again looking at the video. Now as we have completed mean, let me tell you measures of central tendency. You have mean, median and mode. Mean, we have three formulas: direct method, assumed mean method, and we have step deviation method. So all these three things you have completed in grouped data. All right. Now we are going to start introduction to mode. What is this mode? So children, let us try to understand what mode is in ungrouped data. Ungrouped data. See, mode is nothing but, definition of mode is in ungrouped data is the most frequently occurring number or observation. Most frequently occurring number or observation is called mode in ungrouped data. Right? Now, I have given to you some random numbers in ungrouped data. The data is over here. You can see these numbers are randomly given to you. Now, in this given numbers, you have to observe which number is repeating maximum times. Is 5 repeating? No. Is 6 repeating? Yes, it is repeating once, twice, thrice, 4 times. Is any other number repeating? No. So I will write mode for this data is simply mode is equal to 6. Let us go to the next observation. They are randomly given numbers. 20, is 20 repeating? No. Is 3 repeating? Yes. 1, 2, 3 times. 3 times. Is any other repeating again? 7 is repeating? Yes. 7 is repeating. 1, 2, 3. Is any other number repeating again? 4? No. So you are seeing the two numbers are getting repeated, 3 and 7. So for this data, you will write mode is equal to 3 and 7. First problem you got only one mode. Second problem you got 2 modes. Let us see the third observation. Is 2 repeating? Yes, 2 is repeating 3 times. 3 is repeating 3 times. All of them are repeating equally. So for this data, I will write mode is equal to 2, 3, 4 and 5. What do you observe? We observe that mode is not unique. In the case of mean is unique for any given data. But mode need not be unique, because what is mode? The most frequently occurring number. If any number is repeating maximum times, you write that as mode. There might be some other number which is also repeating, just in the second case, and similarly the third case. So the mode can be bimodal, trimodal or multimodal. In this case, the mode is what? The data is what? Multimodal data, because for this particular given data, you got more than one mode. So it is a multimodal data. Otherwise, you will have mode 1. But mode need not be unique. Mode can be many also, but mean is always unique. So the children, this is how you study ungrouped data. It is very simple. The most frequently occurring number is called mode. But now I am going to tell you the formula to calculate mode in the grouped data. To calculate mode in the grouped data. What is the formula? So today I will tell you the formula. You must by heart this formula, and in the next class we are going to deal with the problems related to mode in grouped data. Alright, you need to practice the problem again and again. I expect you will write at least 10 times, okay, and read 10 times. So the formula for mode in what data? Grouped data. Grouped data. The formula for mode in grouped data is L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2. Remember, this entire thing should be in brackets. Don't mix this with L. Into H. So you must read this very carefully. L plus F1 minus F0 by 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Now what is important is this parameter, because in the examination he may ask you for 2 marks, write the formula for mode in grouped data and explain. So when he says explain, you have to write here what is L. L stands for lower boundary. Lower limit is different, lower boundary is different. L stands for what? Lower boundary of modal, M-O-D-A-L, modal class. So please remember, L is called lower boundary of the modal class. What is F0? F0 is the frequency preceding modal class. Frequency preceding modal class. What is F1? F1 is the frequency of modal class. Frequency of modal class. Now what is F2? F2 is the frequency proceeding. See, this is preceding and I am writing proceeding. Proceeding modal class. Proceeding means after modal class. Preceding means before modal class, right? It is not modal, it is modal, right? So F2 is the frequency preceding modal class, and H you all know, H is nothing but class width or class interval. And how do you calculate class width or class interval? Difference between two lower limits, consecutive lower limits, or difference between two consecutive upper limits. So these are the parameters involved in the formula for mode. You must by heart this formula, and in the next class we will try to take a problem based on the mode. Okay, so I am sure you are practicing this, so make sure that you do it repeatedly again and again. Thank you, bye bye, and take care.